All right, everyone, it's Simply Bitcoin, channel that breaks down all the daily Bitcoin news from Twitter, the daily fail, meme review, software releases, the websites by Plebs. We've got it all. Drop us a like and subscribe. All right, let's go to the numbers. So we are currently at a block height of 668,654. The current Bitcoin price, 33,820. Chain rewrite days, 607. The total lightning capacity, 1,063.11 BTC. And the Bitcoin versus gold market cap, 5.21%.
Strong consolidation numbers. I'm bored. Satoshi's bored. He just wants to cluck, unfortunately. For anyone who's new to your channel, Satoshi, the rubber Bitcoin chicken, clucks every time the price of Bitcoin reaches an all-time high. I keep saying that will be very soon. I'm not going to keep jinxing it. Hopefully it's very soon. We don't know. Anyways, Phil, it's time for it.
The daily fail. Yeah, PayPal is our fail. So I'm guessing that this is a question, part of the PayPal FAQ about crypto. Will I get a private key for the crypto I buy on PayPal? You own the crypto you buy on PayPal, but will not be provided with a private key. So you don't own it. Okay, that's what they're telling you. In case you're wondering, a private key is a person's secret code to access and manage their crypto. If lost, stolen, or even forgotten, they can never get to their crypto again. Pretty risky in its own right. As long as you can log into your PayPal account, your crypto will always be at your fingertips. That is some disingenuous, psychotic bullshit to try to get you, essentially to coerce you out of self-custodying your own Bitcoin. And what it does is that it kind of takes the attention away from the fact that their shitty platform doesn't give you, obviously doesn't give you access to your own private keys, which, don't get me wrong, I haven't seen a hosted platform that gives you your own private keys. So the second you get on any one of these platforms, you only have access to what they have deemed you have access to. Anyways, this is just garbage, and a whole bunch of noobs are going to fall for it, unfortunately. But look, they're just lying to make friends. That's all.
It's time for
the Daily News, sponsored by Crypto Cloaks.
All right, everybody, we're going to start off the news with some bullet points. It's not really something to discuss, but check it out. Lop pointed this out. The Reddit thread of Bitcoin is just blowing through the roof, right? July, January, it's literally gone parabolic. Now, the question is, why did it go parabolic? We'll get to that in a second in the news. The second bullet point is Bitcoin 2021 is moving to Miami, ladies and gentlemen. It's on June 4th to the 5th. They discuss how the mayor of Miami, which just recently posted the Bitcoin white paper, and he hinted towards Miami holding some reserves of Bitcoin, is looking to work with the Bitcoin conference. As you know, Miami and Florida in general is a red state. My hometown of Miami, loving this. Now I don't have to take a flight all the way to California. Super cool. Anyways, Phil, this is the segment that I want to talk to you about. You posted this morning. Awesome tweet. When retail does to Wall Street, what Wall Street does to retail, it's market distortion. I kind of want to focus on that today. It's absolutely terrifying when you see the mainstream media propaganda arm going after these Redditors that beat the hedge funds with their own game. It's like these guys are on their moral high horse, acting as if it's nothing wrong. And to quote the article, the retail trading frenzy on Wall Street has grossly distorted markets. Oh, it's not like they're guilty of anything like that. And it was concerning to see lawmakers cheering this from the sidelines. Global hedge funds industry body AIMA said on Monday. And look, it just keeps going. Washington Post. It's just ironic that they have democracy ties in darkness, and they're literally they're one of the biggest propaganda publishers ever, right? The good guys in the GameStop story, it's the hedge funds. Yeah, it's the hedge funds because they just want this retailer just to die, and they make billions of dollars. And look, they even get it. This is so scary, Phil. This is absolutely terrifying.
GameStop, if you don't know, it's a video game store. And like a lot of businesses, they've been struggling because of COVID, but also because most people buy games online now. And yet, despite a sharp decline in sales, over the past 6 months, their stock price has grown by 8,000% because a bunch of amateur investors, maybe even some Russian disruptors who are part of...
You hear that? Russian disruptors. Russian disruptors. Okay. Remember the Russia hoax, ladies and gentlemen? Russia is like, it's the cop out, right?
You do everything.
Are you starting to see a pattern here, right? Reuters, Washington Post, Jimmy Kimmel, the media machine is trying to paint a picture. It's called manufactured consent. It's absolutely terrifying. And check out this response. This seems a totally normal response to check notes. This is a tape on the bull on Wall Street. Hold the line, Wall Street bets, and look at the response. The stock market has an interesting week, to say the least. We're happy to report that the Wall Street charging bull is secure. Look at that response. You guys starting to see the picture, right? Starting to see the picture. Russia, terrorists, financial terrorists, right? And check out this boomer going on mainstream media, and check out his response, right? It's absolute. It's funny, to say the least.
Maybe you're learning here. Maybe it's fun, fine. Maybe it's a movement, but be prepared to lose 80 to 90% of it. And if it's still worth it, then have at it. But the biggest loss of capital here will be the human capital of young men who are sitting and staring at their phone and watching the price of Bitcoin or the price of AMC. And ask yourself, would you be better off taking that 1, 2, or 3 hours a day and working out, trying to form relationships with mentors, with romantic relationships, with people at work, getting great at something so you can be the person on the other side of the trade? The greatest loss in capital here is from young men who are more prone to gambling addiction, who don't understand the markets. I think we are setting ourselves up similar to how there's a ton of young women out there who became very depressed by sitting in their rooms looking at Instagram. Self-cutting and self-harm skyrocket. I think you are going to see an explosion in young male depression, and I think a lot of it.
This is crazy. This is crazy. This is mainstream craziness. And
what?
Just a friendly reminder, everybody, it was them. They caused this in 2009. They took everything away from us. This is financial populism on the rise because of the terrible situation these people put us in, and the moral high ground that these people have the audacity of taking. Just a friendly reminder: since 2000, $330 billion of penalties towards the big banks, and I'm sure a couple hedge funds are in there as well. So these people don't have the right to take the moral high ground. They're dirtier than anybody else. So when a bunch of Redditors get empowered because all of a sudden they're using the internet, they're using a tool to work against these hedge funds, the mainstream propaganda machine gets turned on. You have Jimmy Kimmel, you have the Washington Post, you have Reuters, all calling these people financial terrorists. You had an ex-Treasury worker last week. We reported it on last week of Simply Bitcoin, saying these people are the same as the people that raided the Capitol. You're starting to see a pattern here. It's manufactured consent. It should scare the living crap out of everybody. And I'll tell you something, these Redditors are onto something, because you wouldn't get this type of reaction unless they were close, right? So shout out to our brothers in arms that are going to end up in Bitcoin. You guys are doing it right. But I think that your effort is wasted in something like trying to beat the system within the system. And I just want to show this last tweet before I get your thoughts, Phil. I know I've been going on for a while, but it's just a big subject. The Wall Street Bets chairman, this is kind of the Twitter account of the movement, said the only way to truly stick it to Wall Street is to use Bitcoin. So he's starting to see a pattern. And if you look at Lop's screenshot of like the people joining the Bitcoin Reddit thread, you're starting to see that movement, once people get clarity and understand that the system is rigged against them. Phil, what are your thoughts on this? I know I was ranting on for a while. What are your thoughts on, this manufactured consent from mainstream media against the Redditors?
I don't have much to add to what you've said. I think you've covered everything. I just kind of want to make fun of the Washington Post slogan, because it's not just democracy that dies in darkness, it's also truth. So yeah, they're doing a good job of drowning that out in this particular instance. I'm not going to sit there and nail them on every single article that they've ever published. But in this particular instance, we can see a coordinated attack, okay, against people who did absolutely nothing illegal. It's very interesting, right? If you decide to get together and formulate a plan and then act upon that plan, somehow, if you're not the person in power, then you doing that is a problem. But if you're the people in power, it's not a problem. And, I've never seen this play out so many times over and over again, where the establishment is basically, look, we can see it, right? The media is obviously owned, by the most powerful people, and they are helping spread this message on purpose. This guy, I don't know who that boomer was at the end that just rambled together a whole bunch of different points to pretend like something terrible is going to happen to you. Look, obviously everything is with risk. Even when you go into the stock market, okay? Even if you go and buy a blue chip stock, there is some level of risk, okay? And you are essentially, you are engaging in that risk when you decide to enter it. So to the people that are doing it, hey, this thing can absolutely go down. But you know what? Sometimes it's worth it to lose a little, to stick it to the system, and to kind of show the world the weak points in that system. So you know what? I don't really care. And he sits there and he drags Bitcoin into this, like Bitcoin and AMC. So like Bitcoin's along there with a freaking dying stock. Okay, fine. You know what? These guys, they think that we're afraid of it going to zero. That's their problem, not ours. That's their worry. Really, zero fucks given. Honestly, it goes to zero. Well, then that'll just mean I could buy a shitload more. And if the Bitcoin experiment dies, well, then I just keep on working. And now the rabbit is out of the hat and everybody knows that money is fake. So now everyone is going to seek some type of currency that is better than the slave money we have today. Either way, this system loses. I don't care.
Absolutely. It's funny that you start to see that desperation from the boomers and that disconnect. They don't understand. They don't understand our position as Gen Z, as millennials, that, man, we're willing to ride this to zero because we hate the current system and we refuse to participate in it. And you're starting to see the cracks in it. And it's just, and they hate it. They can't have that. But I have hope. And I know that you have hope, Phil. Speaking of hope, something really hopeful happened last night on Clubhouse. It's this kind of app where you hang out you tend to see CEOs in there. And, Elon Musk popped in last night and he got into kind of this bat with the CEO of Robinhood, and they kind of asked him, he put him on this pressure cooker and asked him, like, what's going on with Robinhood, whatever. That was entertaining. But the headline is Elon Musk says he's a supporter of Bitcoin and thinks it will get broad acceptance and finance. I'm going to let you guys listen to the actual clip brought to us by Bitcoin Meme Hub. Phil, I think he's a simply Bitcoin meme lord. I think he's the third one. I think we've excluded him.
Well, he's probably the first one, really, if you think about it, because in reality, before we were given props to RD and Greg, Bitcoin Meme Hub is the original. He is the original.
I agree. Okay, so he's the first Bitcoin meme lord, then followed by Greg or RD. We got 3 Bitcoin meme lords. Anyways, I hate to make you guys wait. Let's check it out. This is Elon Musk on Clubhouse last night talking about Bitcoin.
So I should say, like, many friends of mine have tried to convince me to get involved in Bitcoin for a long time, like from when it first just popped, it popped out there. And my friend, my bully, he actually had Bitcoin cake, a cake that was like had a big sort of Bitcoin symbol on it, and he fed me a slice of Bitcoin cake in 2013. So, I mean, clearly, I should have at least bought some Bitcoin 8 years ago. Like, what more do people need to do? Like, Jesus, talk about being late. Talk about being late to the party. So I was a little slow on the uptake there. My apologies. But I think about it a fair bit. But I do at this point think Bitcoin is a good thing. So I am a supporter of Bitcoin. Like I said, I'm late to the party, but I'm a supporter of Bitcoin. And I think Bitcoin is really on the verge of getting broad acceptance by sort of the conventional finance people.
So a lot to break down there. He's a supporter of Bitcoin. He thinks it's on the verge of getting acceptance. He wish he would have bought some earlier, right? That sounds very familiar. And Bitcoin, Elon, right? And we reported it here first on Simply Bitcoin. Smash that like button. We broke down the evidence and we said, listen, most likely Elon is into the orange pill. There you have a confirmation from Elon's own voice last night at 2 a.m. my time on Clubhouse. I think it was like around 1 a.m. your time. And he said it himself. He wishes he had some more Bitcoin. He's a supporter of Bitcoin. Now the question is, Phil, how long until Tesla or Elon publicly announce that they own some Bitcoin?
I think not too far away. I think we're possibly in the next 6 to 8 months before we start hearing that. When do they start accepting Bitcoin as payment for a Tesla?
Oof. Absolutely, man. And Elon, he likes to mess around. He has sexy as the model numbers of the Tesla. So if it was one of the big Fortune 500 companies, it wouldn't surprise me if Tesla was one of the first, knowing Elon's a troll. And for anyone who's confused, Elon hating that blunt, that was from the Joe Rogan podcast. That wasn't from last night. Clubhouse is only audio. For anyone who's confused, that was just how Meme Hub kind of phrased it. He's a meme lord, so he likes to have fun. Anyways, Phil, there was a software release today. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
I will, but before I do, I just want to note Elon's not inhaling. It's kind of weak. Just saying. Anyways, okay. Software releases. For the software releases, we are looking at... Oh, nice. Okay, so look, it's Specter version 1.1.0 that was released, and the details to that are in the show notes down below.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. All right, guys, that was our show. If it was running a little late, little long today, that's because it's the Monday episode and we have to catch you up on the things that have happened, and quite a bit has happened. Elon just dropped this nuclear bomb on Bitcoin yesterday. I have a feeling in my gut, I have my spidey Bitcoin sense is telling me it's going to be an awesome week. So make sure to tune in to Simply Bitcoin. If you guys like the episode, smash that like button. If you guys love the episode, subscribe. Shout out from me and Phil, and we'll see you tomorrow for another episode of Simply Bitcoin.